Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd like to thank the witnesses for joining us today. I think we can all agree that we have a crisis on our hands. It's profoundly disappointing, however, that some of my colleagues are using this crisis as an excuse for inaction. Inaction is what got us here in the first place. We have now waited a full year since the bipartisan Senate bill was passed. A full year. If we had passed immigration reform, we would have taken care of the people who are already here and directed resources to criminals, traffickers, and people who wish to do this nation harm. We would have been able to provide reintegration assistance and legal representation to these children. And we would have a comprehensive strategy at the border so we could stop throwing money at the problem and stop militarizing border communities. Just yesterday, Speaker Boehner wrote the President asking him to send troops to the border, to send National Guard troops to the border. To do what? These are children. They need help, not a gun in their face. Others are using this as excuse to end DACA and deport all the young people who have benefited from that program. DACA is a program that Secretary Johnson testified before this committee as a success very recently. These young people have become assets in our community. They want nothing more than to go to school and contribute to our country, to their country. In fact, I have a dreamer interning in my office this summer. No matter who you think is at fault, the fact of the matter is that there are hundreds of kids arriving at our border each day, hungry, thirsty, often traumatized by the journey. They aren't here because they're trying to game the immigration system. They are here out of desperation. You don't hand your 10-year-old daughter to a coyote and let her travel thousands of miles through a desert on the backs of trucks through a foreign country because you're hoping she will be your immigration in. They feel they have no other choice. In fact, in many cases, they have no other choice. These kids are coming from places where children are recruited by gangs, where they're used as pawns to coerce their families. They're here because of a foreign policy that has ignored the problems in our own backyard, and because the immigration system is too broken to deal with reality. We need to fix our immigration system and invest in this part of the world to get to the root of the problem in this crisis. Using these kids to score political points is unproductive and simply beneath us. Stop finger pointing and start governing is what we should be doing. Now, I've just been astonished by some of the questions here, but I want to ask any of you there, have you heard any, with the exception of some of the members across the aisle, have any of you heard U.S. officials saying to people, come to the United States so you can stay?
I have not heard any U.S. officials say that. No.
Mr. Crane?
No, sir, I have not.
Good. I wanted to ask the bishop, because somehow you got involved in the conspiracy. Somehow the Catholic Church is now in collusion with the coyotes trying to come here. Could you state what for the record, what the Catholic Church thinks about people breaking the law and coming to the United States as they want to portray it?
Well, first of all, we do not recommend that youth, children, anyone leave their home country and make that journey. We try to discourage them from coming. However, I think we also recognize that there are people, as you said, that feel they have no other option. Like the woman said that I quoted in my testimony. She said she would rather see them die on the journey, take a chance of dying on the journey, than to die on her doorstep. And that is the option that I believe many of these people feel.
Bishop, one final question. I sometimes look at bumper stickers, and I always love the little monogram, you know, WWJD. What would Jesus do? Could you tell me who Jesus would deport, just so I know?
Well, I think we have plenty of indications in the gospel that Jesus identified in a special way with people who are on the margins, with people who have no voice. He told the story of the Good Samaritan, and he said that the neighbor was the one who showed compassion. I don't think we ever get a pass on compassion, especially to the one who is standing before us.
Thank you very much. I'll yield back the balance.